from Star Facts. Not gonna lie, Phil, this sounds like a bad cope. You are lazy every time I give a suggestion. No, it's that you refuse to use your brain to put yourself into my shoes. This is a huge problem with the actual new generation of people on this planet. People have grown up now in a generation where they're told you're entitled to everything, instant gratification, you're a special snowflake, you're better than everyone. I don't know why. I didn't grow up like that. No one told me that when I was growing up. Okay? But everyone seems to feel that way now. On this, all younger people are of this weird entitlement mentality, right? So now it's like, so we made a suggestion and you're not doing it, so you're lazy. No, you made a suggestion. I literally concretely outlined to you why the suggestion doesn't work because I'm a different case than the other people you're referencing. Oh, well, you didn't listen to me, so you're lazy. I don't like you. No, use your fucking brain. Put yourself into my shoes for 10 seconds. Imagine your dark side, Phil, and you have to put up with all the shit that I do. And you have all the adversity thrown against you that I have, but somehow you're still persevering because you're not doing these things, right? That's what you need to do. But it seems like there's a whole generation of people that don't have the ability to do that anymore. Instead, it's my way, my way, my way. Oh, you didn't do my way? Wham, wham. Well, that's not how to go through life because you're not going to be successful. You're going to find yourself weighing quite a lot if you don't listen to what people say. I'm telling you your suggestions don't work, and I'm factually outlining why. That's not laziness. That's, hey, I've been there, done that. I know what works, what doesn't. Here's the deal. I know that a lot of these things people suggest, sadly, if I emulated something right now, I would have people knocking on my fucking door saying, yo, you broke the law. Don't you get it? I'm different than everyone else. Sucks that I'm in that position, but I'm telling you as concretely as I can that things aren't as simple as you think. You think life is so simple. It's not. Especially for someone like me, life's very complicated, and I have to dance around certain issues and treat things a lot differently than others do. Maybe you don't want to believe it because you're part of that group. Maybe because you're actually part of the group that derides Dark Side Phil and makes his life miserable. And you don't want to believe that, right? It ain't so bad for him. Actually, why do you think that I have to do things so differently than everyone else in my life? Because of these fuckers, because of these weirdos, you know? Okay. Zangief says, you might actually be the first person to get jailed for emulation. The detractors are insane. They send legions of letters and calls to Nintendo and others. It's obvious. I mean, you're right. You're legit right. I believe they would do that. Again, these morons who say things like victim mentality don't understand what I've actually been through. It's not that I want to be that way. I factually am. Get it? Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making my end all be all that. If you don't notice, I don't really bring it up, but it's true. It's still happening. If I ignore reality, that would be more crazy than to not. You know what I mean? So it's just people don't want to believe the fact that everything that they've said and done has led to a really toxic, crazy internet movement against me to fuck with my life. But they has, and it's their fault. But they won't take any actual responsibility or blame for it. They refuse that. Oh no, you know, all those videos where you said horrible things that I didn't do, but you said I did them. Didn't you think that that would actually turn into something someday? That not everyone gets the joke or not everyone cares that you're just trying to make a dime, but instead people will go crazy and believe you. And now people actually hate me because you're a disingenuous fool, an irresponsible person who should be in jail for what you've done. Don't you think that all these people who over the years, over the last decade, who have every single day slandered me should be held accountable? But they're not. YouTube allows it. The law doesn't, but the law can only be selectively upheld by those who are rich. That's the truth. The law says all this stuff that people put out about me every day actually is illegal. But the only way to enforce it is for me to be rich and to have lawyers to slap YouTube and these people with lawsuits. And I'm not rich. So I want you to think about that, how messed up that is. We actually have a system where anyone can say and do whatever they want, and they're perfectly protected unless you're rich. Then you can go after them. If you're not rich, every law doesn't matter because anyone could violate the law and no one cares. There is no one policing the internet for this stuff. Pretty messed up. No, you have no idea how the legal system works. You don't. I would have to be very, very affluent to go after anyone for anything. Just a single court case takes thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars and takes sometimes years of time. And that's a single court case. Think about how many people are doing this to me on a daily basis, right? So I could go after the big fish first and then go after the small fries, but I'd have to literally have like endless money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to sue these people. And I don't have it, nor do I have the time. I'm a hard worker, right? I'm streaming 5 to 6 days a week full time. I don't have time to be sitting around with lawyers and in court. Who'd be on top of the list? Whoever makes the most money. Because that's how you do it. You go after the person who's making the most money on your back, and you take their money, and then you move on to the next, down the list. Until finally people realize, oh shit, it's not viable to do this anymore because Phil is actually destroying everyone who does it, and then it ends. But just take a look. Just take a quick look. For example, the whole thing that went down with Billy Mitchell and Carl Jobst, I think is his name. So Carl Jobst, who was a beloved YouTuber for years and years, saying all this stuff about Billy Mitchell. And eventually Billy Mitchell sues Carl Jobst and says, dude, you just can't just say whatever you want on YouTube about me. That's illegal. You have to have actual factual justification for what you're saying, or else you're breaking the law. And Carl Jobst kept going to his audience and saying, well, Billy Mitchell's in the wrong. He lied here, he lied there, finance my court case. He lied here, he lied there, finance my court case. Guess what? He lost his court case because he sat there defaming Billy Mitchell over and over and over and over. So Billy won, and now Carl Jobst owes him a ridiculous amount of money. You know, and that's the case. But look how long that took. Look how long it took for that to go through. That was an ongoing thing for years. Years. And that's one case. That's because Billy Mitchell had his one biggest troll. Okay? You know what I mean? Now imagine me trying to go after the thousands of people, right? Here we go. Hyperfixate just did a $10 super chat. Billy Mitchell is making a career after suing people who have slandered him. You can do the same. I would start with Detractors doxing already, like Alton Cider, who steals your content every day, and then the rest. I don't even know who that is. Okay, I don't. I literally don't. But you're right. There's literally an entire ecosystem. An ecosystem on YouTube based on defaming Darkside Phil on a daily basis. Like I said, the Clippers actually get insanely more views than I do. They steal the content. They will have clips of this podcast on their channels, which is illegal. You can't just clip someone's content before they have a chance to upload it themselves. That's actually against the law. You can't do it. You can't. Sorry. There's laws against it. If you waited for me to finish my broadcast, upload the videos myself, and then you clipped from the videos, that's allowed. You legally cannot put content out first as someone is doing it live. It's not allowed. Right now, this work I'm doing is a copywritten work. As it's live broadcasting, it's protected by U.S. copyright law. If you take anything from it, you've broken the law. So anyone who does that, you're in the wrong and could be sued into fucking oblivion at any given moment. Exactly. They can do it because there's no repercussions, because YouTube doesn't care unless you file a lawsuit. Hence, you need to be affluent in order to actually have a legal defense against this kind of behavior. It's really fucked up. Anyway, I guess Hyperfixate is technically our top super chatter today. Okay. No, they're not hiding behind fair use. That's what they say, but it's not fair use. You understand that? It's literally not fair use. It doesn't matter how many times they say it is. It's not fair use. They could easily be sued and lose, but they don't get sued. That's why they get away with it. YouTube should have a system where they have employees, actual humans, who are well versed in the copyright law, where you can say, hey, someone on your site is actually violating copyright law right now. Stop it. And they should look at the case and say, yeah, they are. Shut down the person doing it, shut down their channel, and that'll be the end of it. But YouTube doesn't care. All they care about is their own asses. So the only way they'll ever take any kind of legal action against someone is if you sue them. If you sue them with a lawsuit, then they shut them down. So that's it. And I'm not rich, so I can't do that. Someone tipped $2 says, what's your biggest regret as a content creator? And what is something you don't have any regrets for? My biggest regret as a content creator.